is from chapter number 23, Surah Al-Mu'minun, verse number 3. But you will also need the website Quran Corpus open as well, corpusquran.com. Chapter 23, verse 3. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Alhamdulillahi alladhi hadana li hadha wa ma kunna linahtadiya lawla an hadana Allah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل. Awaited Savior of humanity, Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, my respected teachers, elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Continuing on in our series on how to perform Tdabur Mawdhu'i, how to be able to search any topic of the Quran, gather the verses appropriate to that theme, and for you and I to study and contemplate over it. We had previously, in the last session, looked at practicing the first technique of Tdabur Mawdhu'i. And that was for us to be able to take a phrase and search it, and for us to be able to see where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats that phrase in the Quran, to see the nuances of that phrase. We were utilizing the website islamicity.org/PS. What was the phrase that we looked at prior to the weekend? Say it again. Mu'minuna haqqa. Ahsantum. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that there are darajat of the mu'mineen. There are some who are on the highest levels of faith, and they are mu'minuna haqqa. They are the reality and true personification of the mu'mineen. And elsewhere Allah also talks about its opposite, kafiruna haqqa. There are certain people that exemplify the meaning of kufr itself. Now we gave this as an example, as a homework for you and for us to be able to practice it together, because it was very simple. There was only 2 verses of the Quran that talk about mu'minuna haqqa, and only 1 that talk about kafiruna haqqa. So it was a simple technique for us to be able to practice technique number 1. Tonight and tomorrow, inshallah, depending on the time available to us, we will start now practicing technique number 2. Who can remember what was technique number 2? What is the website that we used to be able to practice technique number 2? corpusquran.com. Ahsantum. Now when we practiced it last time, what was the word that we used to study? Good. Ihbat. Habitat a'maluhum. And that was for someone to have their a'mal, their good deeds, completely nullified, wiped out altogether. May Allah protect us from such a terrible outcome. And the idea was to take a word and to be able to see how Allah uses that word in the Quran, for us to build the picture of Allah's usage of that word, how He applies that word in His divine language, the isti'mal of it. So we're going to do this tonight, tomorrow, inshallah, to practice this technique for ourselves. Practice technique number 2 before we go on to practice technique number 3, which we looked at as well previously in the series. So open the Qur'ans to chapter number 23, Surah Al-Mu'minun, and we're going to look at verse number 3 in particular. Inshallah, Adnan will have the website up on the screen for all of us to be able to see and utilize. But the idea is for us just to slowly tonight go into this technique and practice it again. As you will know, Surah Al-Mu'minun, it opens with the qualities of the believers. If you and I want to know what is a mu'min, someone will say it is a believer. Well, what is a believer? Someone who believes in the wilayah of Ahlul Bayt alayhim wassalam. Well, actually the Quran presents to us qualities of those individuals who are truly the believers. We studied last time mu'minuna haqqa. We understood the context of it was very much related to the battle of Badr. Now Allah talks to us generally about qualities of mu'minun. Let's have a read of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qad aflahal mu'minun. Successful indeed are the believers. Who are the believers? What are their qualities? Alladhina hum fi salatihim khashi'un. Number 1 quality, they are humble in their salat. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. And they keep aloof from that which is vain, from laghu. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. And they are givers of the zakat. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. And they guard their private parts. These are 4 basic qualities of the mu'mineen. We are going to focus on verse number 3. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. They keep aloof, they stay away from that which is vain. Who can tell me what is vain? What does it mean, laghu? That which is? Conceited. Anything else? What would be the dictionary definition of laghu?
It is against manners.
Okay, which is against manners. Excellent. So remember, the idea of Tdabur Mawdhu'i is for us to be able to see first and foremost how Allah explains and utilizes this word. Beautiful explanations here. So what we want to do is go back into the website and see how Allah builds the picture of what laghu is from the Quranic perspective. This is Tdabur Mawdhu'i. The mawdhu', the subject that we want to study is laghu. What is laghu in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What do? We draw the verses together. We see how Allah uses it, which contexts He uses it, and we can build a picture of what laghu means. And that's when we can say we can try to stay away from laghu. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. They turn away from laghu. So, if you all open your website, which is corpus.quran.com, who can tell me what we do next? Where? We're not the word. What do we do next? Into the website. Put the ayah in. Where do we put the ayah in? Search box, top right. So if you go into the website, top right, you type in chapter number 23:3. What will come up, Adnan?
All the verses.
No. What will come up? The ayah itself that you've searched. Brilliant. So now you can see on the left hand side going down is the phonetic search and the translation, and in the middle is the Arabic. Can you all see that? Are we all on the same page? Yeah? وَالَّذِينَ. Is that there? You all have the same? Have you gone to the right chapter? Chapter number 23, verse number 3. So it should say, as you scroll down, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. Does everybody have that? Yes? Some people don't have it? Or you're all on the right page? So on the left hand side, it should say, those who they from the vain talk. So where do we click now to be able to study the word lahu and bring up all the times the verses are found in the Quran where Allah uses the word lahu? So we tap on the word laghwi, the phonetic word. Can you see it in the blue? You can see it, Adnan?
Yeah.
You got it? Everyone can see it? Everyone can follow it? There we go. And then you click on the word laghwi that you're researching, and what should come up, everybody? Every time. Tell me, how many times does it come up in the Quran, the word laghu? It says it in there at the very top. Nope. The trilateral root lam, ghain, waw occurs 11 times in the Quran. Excellent. Well done. Does anyone need to go through that process again? Yeah? So, in the website, chapter 23, verse 3. And there the verse will come up. On the left hand side is the word that we're studying, laghu. Click on the word laghu and you should see that every time in the Quran Allah uses the word laghu, you will see that it comes up. Are we all there? Just to make sure, are we all there? Only 2 people nodding. Yes. Okay, excellent. So we're going to make this easier upon ourselves rather than going through every single verse individually. Hands up, who wants to be a volunteer tonight? Who wants to be a volunteer tonight? A lot of people being pointed to, but not everyone putting their hands up. Okay, so I need at least, how much time do we have before Salah? I need 3 volunteers. I need 1 from the sisters, and I need 2 from the brothers. Thank you, Brother Tariq. 1. Akil, you got your hand up? But he's got his hand up now for him. Thank you very much. Akil? Yes? Thank you so much. Okay, we have our 3 wonderful volunteers. So, what I'd like Brother Tariq to do is to open the first verse for himself. Akil, open the second verse in that list. And if you would kindly open the third verse in that list. What I'd like you to do is read the verse for a second to yourself. Just grasp the verse, understand what the verse is saying, and then I would like you to tell me the meaning of the verse and how Allah is describing laghu, the context of the word laghu, so that when Allah says to us as mu'minun that we have to stay away from laghu to be proving that we are mu'mineen, you can tell me the definition of laghu from the Quran, how Allah uses this word. Everybody understand? Okay, so what's going to happen is Adnan is going to click on the first verse, and you all are going to open the first verse, which is chapter number 41, verse number 26. Everybody's together? Jazakumullah khair. So Brother Tariq is going to read the ayah for us, and he's going to explain the context of laghu in the ayah. And we are all going to note to ourselves that if we want to be amongst the mu'mineen, this is what laghu means in this particular ayah. And this is Tdabur Mawdhu'i. We gather the verses of the subject. Faddalu, inshallah, when you're ready. Loudly so that all the sisters can hear as well. لعلكم Yes, the verse continues لعلكم تغلبون. Do you have that? No?
If you click on the thing,
Click on the ayah itself, not the word. You see, and make noise. Can you see in the blue? Yeah? Brilliant. Okay, anyway, you can take the ayah from wherever you want. Brilliant. So, Brother Tariq is going to explain the meaning of this ayah for us and how it means laghu and what we can do to stay away from laghu. In this verse, what does Allah say laghu is? So should I translate it? Do you need
Those who disbelieve said, don't listen to this Quran, وَالْغَوْا فِيهِ, and make noise.
لَعَلَّكُمْ تَغْلِبُونَ, so that you will overcome the Quran. So what did the kuffar say to each other? Make noise when the Quran is being recited. So how does Allah use the word laghu here? Noises. What kind of noises would people make when the Quran was being recited? Vain talks. It's like we're reciting Quran here, and we here just start to chatter in order to drown out the recitation of the Quran so no one else can hear it. So when they say make noise, they don't mean like make donkey sounds or elephant sounds. It's not like, oh, there's a tembo and you just go and make a sound like it. No. The idea is you make noise to drown out the Quran so the mu'mineen can't hear what Allah's words are. That's the meaning of make noise. So laghu in this context means to talk vainly, to just chatter away vainly, in a way that stops believers from being able to hear Allah's words. So Surah Al-Mu'minun, Allah says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, successful are the believers. Whom are the believers? وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ, they turn away from laghu. What's the first meaning of laghu here in the Quran? Idle talk when? During recitation of Quran. If anyone does that, if anyone starts yammering away whilst Quran is being recited, a sign of a mu'min is that you turn away from that. You don't participate in that. Understand? So here Allah is explaining His words through His own words. Everybody with me? So the first meaning of laghu is someone who talks nonsense to drown out the Quran or participates in yammering whilst Quran is being recited. A sign of a mu'min is that they don't do this. They do not talk nonsense whilst Quran is being recited. Meaning number one. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you, Tariq. Doc, what was the second verse, everyone? So what do? We go back to the Adhan. Click backwards, please. And brings up the list of the verses. What is the second verse? Chapter 2, verse 225. Let's click on it, and the whole verse should come up for you, inshallah. Would you kindly recite loud for us, sisters can hear, and then translate and give us an explanation of laghu in this ayah?